from Sunny Isles, we have some special guests. Who the hell are you?
John fucking Zherka. I'm a black man in Miami.
Black man.
I'm a nigga.
And who are you, my friend?
Following that up, I guess I'm a white man in Miami.
The white devil, then.
Oh, you
White
guys
devil.
rule the world, apparently.
Devil's advocate.
Well, I mean, it doesn't matter what the shade is. It matters what the last name is, if you know what I mean.
Whoa, bro! I'm trying to get. We're on kick. We can say that.
We're starting real soft. Wow. For anyways, I wanted to come out with a bang because usually I'm the one here talking shit 24/7. But I figured, hell, dude, this guy's pretty good at talking shit himself. A 3 life path. He doesn't know exactly what that means, but he's gonna learn very quickly. Chase, would you explain what numerology is to the fine folks out there, and then I can start explaining how the elite actually use this in everyday life. You're going to love this, John.
Okay, so the way I think about it, and I've learned from Gary, it's like your imprinted code. If you think of coding or software development, you're basically born with a hardwired, personality or imprint of the energy that your expression. And what you attract is dependent on that. What you go through in life, the certain life lessons or levels of depression you're meant to go through are all based around that sort of stuff. But I'm still learning too, so give it back to Gary.
If John were to hear you, he wouldn't be sold on that shit for a second. But
you suck at this. You're good. He's good.
Hey,
no. It's okay. He's young. But here's the whole point. It doesn't matter what you believe. It doesn't matter what the fuck they believe. It doesn't matter what I believe. It matters what the people on top do. And if you look at the people on top, they always do certain things on certain times. So you tell me if you think this is a coincidence. 9/11 happened on the 11th. First plane to hit the World Trade Center is Flight 11. New York City, 11 letters. Afghanistan, 11 letters. The New York is the 11th state in the Union. Do you think that's a coincidence?
Absolutely not. You look at Freemasonry with the towers, Twin Towers. That's the Solomon Brothers towers. Soul of Man, Seal of Solomon, and it's the 2 Jock and Boaz Freemason towers. And they're meant to go down on a certain zodiac alignment. And people who think we're just fucking retards who talk about this shit, the only people who talk about doing stuff on certain dates are billionaires. Not just JP Morgan. Like, only billionaires study astrology. Millionaires don't.
The quote was, millionaires don't study astrology, but billionaires do, by JP Morgan. Now, you know what they study even more than astrology?
Wait, that's a real quote?
Yes, that's a real quote. You know what they study even more? Numerology. Because what this is
not that gay gematria shit. The real shit.
Well, actually, I think gematria is real because the
YouTubers that do it.
No, they're frauds. They're frauds. Here, you know how you can tell they're frauds? They're broke. Okay, I'm not broke. I'm the only one who's actually making bread in this game. So when it comes down to it, that's how you judge people. Do they have any real references? And you know how we keep count? By your bank account. Are you going to go to a financial advisor who's broke?
No.
You won't see me fucking selling fucking workout equipment because it wouldn't matter.
The first Wall Street guys I worked for, they don't have coaches, therapists. No, they have a psychic team and a numbers guy. I'm like, what the fuck? They don't have what you think they have. They do like rituals and what the fuck?
They get
Wall Street guys, bankers.
They hide knowledge so they can play God. It's like if you hide the knowledge from the population, they're at a disadvantage.
They don't only hide it. What they actually do, work in progress. What they actually do is they spread misinformation for other people to be off. Like, for instance, they put the astrology by the comics in the newspapers to make it seem like a joke, and then they have a woman who's divorced 3 times selling matchmaking advice.
Yeah, and because it's a woman talking, we all go astrology's bullshit. She's like, I'm a Pisces, I'm this, I'm that.
They did that on purpose, though, to feminize it, to steer men away from learning about it. And what was the ancient civilization that was obsessed with astrology? And
all of them.
The Greeks, the Babylonians.
Egyptians are the best.
Go down the list.
They're by far the best.
What was the little device they used to be able to pinpoint where the stars and moon is?
The square and compass the stonemasons used first. But actually, it's interesting. At the highest level of this astrology, there's a lot of math and science involved. It's like a shit ton of work. Right?
Well, when it comes down to it, you can always tell things by certain numbers on people's chests. Like, for instance, when you look at Hollywood, okay? You look at gematria. You might say it's not that strong, but still real numerology. I'll explain it. When you look at the word Hollywood, it has 3 O's. O is the 15th letter. 1 in 5 is 6. So Hollywood is actually 666. See, that would be a much better short than actually is the podcast. But you'll see it.
They say that for Fox News too, right?
Of course, Fox News is 66, 100%. Okay. They all do that on purpose because they want subconsciously to pay homage to certain people. There's 13 Illuminati bloodlines with the Rothschilds on top. So what they do is they pay homage in real sneaky ways. Like, for instance, everyone's heard about the 1849 gold rush, right? But there's a team called the 49ers. They're going to use the excuse as 1849, but for real, it's 4 and 9 is 13. Homage to the Illuminati families. McDonald's, M. M is the 13th letter. Homage, Marathon, M. The 76ers, 7 and 6, 13. Homage to the top of the food chain, hidden in plain sight so plebs can't see it.
You made me think of science. You know how they say atoms have 6 neutrons, 6 protons, and 6 electrons? Yep. And, you know, like Adam and Eve, and we're all made of atoms, you know.
You stole that from me.
The English language is all about spelling. It's like casting a spell.
People who think that number stuff is just schizo posting, you know, those kind of weirdos. Believe it or not, each letter in any alphabet is assigned a number, and the numbers are not made by man. They're discovered, meaning they're here. They're spiritual. So each the numbers are the most important thing. 100%.
Numerology supersedes any form of astrology. You know, the most sacred number of all is 33. And when it comes down to 33, the Freemasons basically made a Fahrenheit system when they came to America. And water is still frozen at 32 Fahrenheit, but at 33 turns liquid, which basically means it's illuminated, which is the highest frequency you can reach. If you go throughout history, some of the greatest people were 33 life paths. Albert Einstein, the Wright brothers, Thomas Edison. These are all people who were trailblazers. The first guy who invented the bench press was a 33. The first guy who, invented basketball, Dr. Joe Naismith, was a 33 life path. So when you look at it, you understand people are good at certain things. My man over here is a 3 life path. What do 3s do? They talk. They communicate. You want to talk about the letters? Communication starts with C. C is the 3rd letter. Goes right back to you. You look at some of the better people out there. Crowder. Michael, what's his name? Rush Limbaugh, in my opinion, is probably the best of all time. He's born on the 12th. Howard Stern is born on the same day as Rush Limbaugh. How do you like that one? The kings of all media have it right there. Then it's
really?
Yeah, same birthday. Howard Stern and Rush Limbaugh.
For me, the smoking gun was on the 33rd parallel. The 33rd parallel has most of the world's banking.
Correct.
Is that correct?
Yes.
That's insanity. Like, why? What are the chances? Worldwide, they all chose there.
Because 33 is the number of influence. So if you want to spread influence with your financial currency, you want to have under certain, just like there's certain waypoints all over the earth, and you have pyramids all over.
So you're the first person to know about this. They talk about, I've read this in this was hard to find, ley lines, energy points that crisscross the world. Correct. And that's where car accidents happen, on the crosses. But, and they would build churches on certain ley lines.
But mostly pyramids. All the pyramids in Giza are all there. All the biggest pyramids in the world are not in Egypt. They're in Bosnia. They're under the fucking ground.
That means they've never picked a fucking hill and said, go build a temple of worship there. They would pinpoint where to build.
Yes.
People and is that the same for big NFL games, Super Bowl? They say they're harvesting energy off these Super Bowl games.
Here's what I'm going to tell you about big time NFL. They don't really fix too many regular season games because no one cares. But Super Bowl, it's more about the halftime show, more about the influence the kids to be a certain way, the propaganda. If you look at the halftime show, it's always some satanic shit. And then it's
Rihanna doing,
it's always of course. So I think the halftime show is the most important part of the Super Bowl because that's the only game people all over the world watch. And the halftime show is like a concert, an event. So I think that's like one of the best ways for them to brainwash society. So that's why they pick it. But yeah, the numbers are everywhere. For you to even recognize stuff like that tells you a lot.